Hi everyone. In this short video, we are going to look at how you can apply zero standing privilege for Entra ID B2B users or business to business users. So let's get started. This is a brief agenda, what we are going to cover. First, we will be looking at what is Azure B2B and how does external identities or business to business identities representation looks like on Entra ID. Then we will get into how CyberArk Secure Cloud Access can help to implement ZSP for Azure B2B scenario. We will look into the configuration. At last, we will be spending majority of our time going through demonstration. So first, let's look into Azure business to business collaboration. So the primary benefits of business to business is your partners, if they are on Entra ID tenant, even if they are not on Entra ID tenant, they can continue to use their own identities and credentials. You don't have to create any new identities. The last thing is, again, you don't have to worry about managing the entire life cycle as well. So these are the couple of benefits around Azure B2B. So let's look into how does this B2B entity is going to look like on the Microsoft Entra ID side. So in this example, we are considering this is the parent organization whose domain name is xyz.com. Again, this organization is on Entra ID tenant, and this organization can invite the partners from several organizations. So here we are representing this organization is inviting people from partner one, partner two, partner three, and partner four. So once you do an invitation, the way the identity is going to be representative on the Entra ID side, you can see two primary attributes, UPN, also called user principal name. Another attribute we will focus upon is email. If you see, even on this Entra ID tenant, when the user gets invited, their email address doesn't get changed. Whereas their user principal name do get changed. The way the UPN is going to look like, again, if this is what my email address is, so it is going to change from the @ to underscore, and then it is going to represent this particular user as external user because this user is coming from outside, and then it is going to add its own domain name. So this is how this entire user representation is going to look like. Just to recap, so this is how the user identities is going to get represented in the Entra ID tenant. So here, your external user's email remains the same. It doesn't change. The primary attribute in Entra ID side is called UPN or the user principal name. It do get modified. So now, in terms of the CyberArk identity security platform, integration with Entra ID, especially for B2B. So these are the few consideration. The first thing is you can leverage upon the scheme provisioning. You can provision your users and the groups from Entra ID to CyberArk identity security platform. This is the first thing. Second thing is in terms for the authentication purposes, you can leverage upon the SAML-based authentication, or some people call it a federation. So you can leverage upon both of these approaches. So one of the things to take note here, if you see, this is what the external user representation on the Entra ID tenant. Once the user is going to get provision from Entra ID to CyberArk side, so Entra ID is so smart, it will automatically convert the UPN to the email. So this is how the user representation is going to look like. So my ISPS login name and ISPS email address, in case of a B2B user, it will be the same. So here, this is what my email address is in both the cases. Now the point comes how we can elevate the user permissions on the fly. In this particular case, when we bring SCA into the picture, if you look at the user representation one more time, on the CyberArk side, my email address on the Entra ID side my email address, it is the same. So what we have to do in the account mapping, we have to take mail attribute into the consideration, as using the mail attribute only, CyberArk Secure Cloud Access will be elevating or will be deprovisioning the user's permission. So currently what you have to do, you have to open a CyberArk support ticket, and support will help you to do a feature flag for Azure B2B. Now we are going to look into the demonstration. For demonstration purposes, what we will do, so this is what my Entra ID tenant is. So this is what my primary domain is. If I go to the properties also, so you can see some of the details about my entire organization. So here we are going to look into one of the user, and that user is my external or a B2B user. So once I click on this Rajneesh cloud security, so here, this is what the default domain is, preetidatta84gmail.onmicrosoft.com. And here, if I go to the properties, so you are able to see this is what my original email address is. Once this user get invited to this specific tenant, so my UPN name gets converted with the X, as well as my Entra name is added. Again, it's the external Azure AD user. So this is the first thing what you guys can take note. So here I'm doing a scheme provisioning. So for the scheme, so the steps can be found out from CyberArk documentation. Apart from that, so what I'm doing, I'm leveraging upon single sign-on when user is going to authenticate from Entra ID all the way to CyberArk ISPS. So this is what we did. And if I go to the CyberArk identity administration page, here we are going to look at the same user. My user is Cloud Security Workshop Azure. If you see my login name and my email address is still the same. So this is how my user is going to look like. And this is what my display name is for Rajgar. If I go here also, so I should be able to see my first name and my last name as well. And another thing what we did, if I go to the web apps, go to the Microsoft Azure portal. So here, if I go to the account mapping, so you are able to see in the directory service field name, we are leveraging upon mail as a attribute. So that's what we have to do. Now what we will do, I have login as a user called Raj at the rate of cloudsecurityworkshopazure.com. Currently, this user is present in the scsolutionsdemo.com. If I look at my permissions, so you will not be able to see any permissions at all. So this is the first thing to take note. So once I go to the My Apps, so you will be able to see as a user, so this particular user has access to all the different web apps. So for this one, to authenticate to CyberArk ISPS portal, I will click on this particular app, and then we will go from there. So once I click on this specific app, so I get authenticated using SAML. Then for this particular demonstration, we are going to click on Microsoft Azure portal app. So it takes a couple of seconds. So once I get into the CyberArk SCA portal, so then we are going to elevate our permission. In this particular case, let's elevate our permissions for this Azure subscription one. So what I'll do, I'll click on select, and then we will click on connect. Within a couple of seconds, we should get redirected to portal.azure.com portal. So once we get redirected, so again, we are in the scsolutionsdemo.com user. So what I'll do, I'll refresh again, or we go to the Azure subscription one. And from Azure subscription one, let's go to identity access management. we are going to look into the I didn't view my access. So you can see I have been granted an access for the key vault administrator. So this is how this just in time elevation is going to look like. And after 1 hour time frame, user will go back to the zero permission again. So thanks a lot, everyone, for watching this short video.